So that was just a 12-bar jam in the key of A, using the three chords of the blues, the A7, dominant 7, to a D7 or D9, and the 5 chord E dominant 7 or E9. But I was playing it in, I was just going through the cycle playing like a lead based 12-bar blues, but I was highlighting the chord changes so you could hear the chord changes, passing through the chords seamlessly using the flat 7th of the chord and certain chord tones to get me around the progression. So just to begin with, I know I'm always going on about these dominant 7 chords and chord tones and chord shapes, but it's mega important for, you know, guiding yourself through, you know, if you want to pick up the guitar and just play a 12-bar blues like that, if you know the notes of the chord and your chord shapes, you can kind of, you know, you can navigate through without the need of a JamTrack, but still, you know, highlight them changes and bring out the correct tones and notes in order to hear the changes going by. So let's just get straight into this. So we start on the 1 chord. I'm not going to break that down bit by bit. I'm just going to go more into the theory of how you can start using this stuff. So we look at this, the 1 chord, we're going to use this A dominant 7 here off the 5th fret root. Remember, this comes from, if we do this A major chord, E form, if we lift up the finger, it's put that root back 2 frets, which means we now are getting that note under our first finger on the 5th fret, which is, that is the flat 7th. That's how you turn this major chord into a dominant 7. You add this note. So if we do something super simple, like a little bit of a blues lick, then land on that A root, walk down to the flat 7, then what happens next? So the next chord in the progression, the 4 chord, is your D7 or D9. So that flat 7, if we take that down one more note, that is the major 3rd of the 4 chord. And there's our root of the 4 chord underneath the root of the 1, there on the G string on the 7th fret. So that's highlighted that change from the 1 to the 4. Straight into that D9 there. Straight to our root there for the 4 chord. And then when we're playing through the D, if we land on the D root, which is here, which is the root of the 4, straight behind that is the major 3rd of the 1. So that can take us back to the 1 chord, because we've got the 1, the 4, back to the 1. So we can do that change. Back to our 1. And then we do a lick and land on the root of the 1, and then behind the root of the 1 we get the major 3rd of the 5, and then we could come over here into this shape and grab this root for the 5 chord. So again, we've started at the beginning, so we can start with this basic triad like this. walk down to the flat 7, now we're on the 5 chord. And then when we're on the 5 chord, so there you go, E dominant 7, the flat 7 of the 5 is the root of our 4. So if we walk down to that flat 7 on the 5 chord, we're also highlighting the change back to the 4. And then behind that, we know, is the major third of the 1. So that takes us straight through the cycle of a 12-bar blues. It's really good just to practice this just really slowly and figure out what you're doing, because when you can really start improvising this into your playing. So again, we're going to start with a simple blues lick. So we landed on the root of the A, walk down to the flat 7. There we go, highlighting the change into the 4, major third, root of the 4, and then behind that, major third of the 1 chord. Back to the root of the 1, sliding into the major third of the 5, then walk down to the flat 7 of the 5, which takes us to the root of the 4, and then the root of the 4 takes us right back to the major third of the 1, which resolves perfectly. I really hope that's made any sense. You know, just keep rewinding it and watching it. There's so much to take just from understanding that flat 7 and what it can, you know, how it leads you into the 4 chord. It's like a voice leading. The 1 chord. So if we did that with chords, we've got the major chord, A major, E shape, takes us perfectly to the 4 chord, root, flat 7, and then we're on the root of that 4 and straight behind it, back to the major third of the 1. There's the root of the 1. There's the major third of the 4. Flat 7 of the 4 takes us right back to our 1 chord. See you later.